Martha had enough awareness to know that she wanted a better experience of life. And so she asked. As this story goes, she invited Jesus. Jesus at this point in time was this radical man traveling around the countryside, wreaking havoc among the religious of his day. But yet people were being healed. The real people's lives were being changed. And so anybody that really was kind of fed up with the religious system of their day, anybody who was open to discovering something new would have loved to have had this person come into their home. So what we know about Martha is that she was a true spiritual seeker. She had a desire and wanted to know how to create a better experience of life. So can you relate with Martha so far? Yeah. So the scripture says she invited him into her home, and he came. Martha had a sister named Mary who sat at Jesus' feet and listened to everything he was saying. But Martha was distracted by her many tasks. Now the word task means diakonia. Martha was distracted by her routine stuff. So here she wanted help. She's got this person in her home, and the question becomes, where is Martha? Her sister is right there at Jesus' feet, soaking up everything he's saying, and Martha is off somewhere else. Now, is anybody else a busy person like Martha? I can so relate to Martha. It is not funny. Of just being so busy. And we know that she got frustrated because the next step says, she says, Martha was so distracted by her task, she begins to get irritated. Now here she's got a desire to change her life, to have something better. And yet she's so stuck in her routine that for the life of her, she obviously can't break out of it. And so she does what we typically do when we're in that state. Misery loves what? Company. Misery loves company. So I can just see Martha goes back to the living room door, and there's Jesus, and there's her sister Mary. And Martha goes, "Psst, Mary, psst, we've got stuff to do." And Mary just cannot even hear her. Now, if you're Martha, how are you feeling about now? You are not happy. Psst. Everything you need to do, get. And still nothing. Nothing's happening. But what we know was she has this desire for something to change, and she's frustrated. She absolutely doesn't know how to change it. So what does she do? She tries to distract her sister because she herself is distracted. So now she goes back in there and says Martha was distracted by her many tasks. So she came to Jesus and said, "Lord, do you not care that my sister has left me to do all the work by myself?" Now, I didn't make that up. That's in the Bible. Can't you just see somebody copying an attitude with Jesus? Now, let me tell you what to do. Tell her to get up off of her pillow and come over here and help me. I say here she moved from asking to demanding, wouldn't you? None of us like that energy of demanding. It's one thing if somebody asks you to do something, but when there's that energy of demanding, how do we feel about that? I don't think so. We then can get into that attitude. So this desire has now become really frustrated, and it's moved into demanding. Which is the second thing I want us to realize that is coming to us each and every day. Every day you have desire, asking for your attention. And every day you have discomfort, asking for your attention. Barbara Ann Brennan, who wrote the book Hands of Light, she's actually authored a couple of you. How many of you know who Barbara Ann Brennan is? This is like the textbook for anyone who does Reiki, energy, healing work. She started out working with NASA. She's a brilliant person in the field of science. And a lot of things happened in her own life and she now runs a school in New York. So Barbara Brennan's Hands of Light, she says, the simplest kind of guidance comes every day, many times a day, in the form of discomfort. Attending to the discomfort you feel puts you back in balance, back into a state of health. The discomfort can be in your body in physical form, like physical discomfort or pain, or discomfort can be in any level of your being, emotional, mental, or spiritual. It could be in any area of your life. Questions to ask ourselves are, where is the discomfort in my body or in my life? How long have I known about it? What is it saying to me? And what am I willing to do about it? If you answer these questions honestly, you will find how much you disregard the best tool that we have to keep ourselves in alignment. Any discomfort anywhere in our body or our life is a direct message about how we are out of alignment with our true self. Martha was in discomfort. When life begins to place demands on us, we become demanding. And so, as the story says, now she's gone from asking to help, she's caught in and stuck in that rut of demanding. The story continues. Lord, do you not care that my sister has left me to do all the work by myself? Tell her to help me. And here's the reply. But Jesus answered her, Martha, Martha, you are worried and distracted about many things, but only one thing is needed. Wouldn't you like to know that one thing? What's the one thing that's needed? Mary has chosen the better part, which will not be taken from her. End of story. That's the end of the story. Now, if I'm Martha, and I've just got that reply, I'm standing there saying, I'm just about as happy as I can possibly be for Mary, really. I'm totally happy for Mary, really. And she is so frustrated because the reply is a reflection. I see. You are very anxious. You're very frustrated. Pure awareness will always reflect back to us exactly where we are. And then the message that comes says, Mary made a different choice. Mary chose the better part, and what she chose cannot be taken from her. It's the end of the story. And that story doesn't make a whole lot of sense, and it's certainly not very fulfilling if it ends there. And that's why in Unity we realize that the value of the Scripture is found at a metaphysical, it's not literal, it's a metaphysical level. And so what we need to know is that you have a Mary within you. The story tells us Mary and Martha are in the same house. The house is your being. You, gentlemen, have a Mary and a Martha inside. We ladies have Marys and Martha. We have all these aspects. Every aspect that you find in sacred Scripture is an aspect of consciousness. So Martha is an aspect of your consciousness. Martha is that part of us that is always, always, always seeking. She is the part of us that is so identified with our mind and with our task and with our job and all that we do that for the life of us we can never get beyond that. You can just let out a huge exhale to say, whew, I thought there was something wrong with me. Hello, Martha. That's your Martha. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's an aspect of consciousness that is very healthy. And right alongside, right inside your same house is a Mary. It's no coincidence that Mary was the name of the one that made space to give birth for the Christ, which represents our innate divinity. Christ is a title. It's not a name. So often when we say Christ, people hear Jesus. I don't want you to hear that. Christ is innate divinity. The Atman, it's the same thing. We all have a Mary. The Mary is the aspect of our consciousness that always is sitting at that gate of pure awareness and is the gateway for us to open to whatever it is we're seeking in our life.